And as is usually the case, when one dev streams, the others decide, oh, ooh, I should do that too. So we've got another one, and technically there was another one after this one. However, it was about 8 AM my time or something like that, and I was asleep after finally getting to bed around 7 AM. So I just barely missed that one, unfortunately. And knowing my luck as I listened through this, it was possibly about the little pterosaur AI. I don't know for sure, because he never really fixed the egg thing in this one, which is what he was doing, aside from the gore, which you'll be seeing in the background during this. But mostly he was testing the scavengers going to nests through most of this, and then eventually he was starting to test the little broken egg things appearing in the nests, etc. We'll show that in a little bit later. But anyway, overall it was a as the title said, it was a scavenger stream. He did a little bit with the gore early on. Well, I should say body, but I mean it was a different body. I think it was a different body. It looks different. When I saw it, it reminded me of in Ark, certain modded creatures weren't set up properly, and so when their injured texture changed, they would look skinless, like completely red. It reminded me of that when I saw it the first time. I mean, of course, this one has a little bit more to it, but it still made me think of that when I saw it. I don't remember seeing that in game or any other times he's been messing with the bodies, like the Tenanto next to it looks just fine. I don't know. Again, I haven't really been playing the game, so I couldn't say one way or another. I included it anyway, and I know for sure there is something— well, I shouldn't say for sure, because it's possible it's in the game and I just somehow never heard it. However, a little squishy sound in a moment. Let me pause for that. Yeah, nothing else to say on that. It's squished. It made me laugh when I heard it. It was a very, very slurpy, squishy sound. I didn't expect that to come from a corpse. I'm sure it's just a testing sound, but yeah, squishy sound. Again, that could be already in there. I don't know. I haven't played the game since update 5, and I don't mean 0.5, I mean 5. And it was like midway through, so yeah, I don't remember. Anyhow, let's move on. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Most of this won't have audio because the music was blaring, as usual, and most of the times when he was talking it wasn't really of substance. It was more just commenting on the side. Like, at one point when he was hitting a Compy, he was talking about headshots and stuff like that, so when he was talking, most of the time it wasn't exactly necessary to put it in here, so I just took it out. But here it was just a little be ready to fight the Horde, and Compies would show up every now and again while he was a little itty bitty boy, and he'd fight them. Not much else to say on that, except for the first Compy sort of bugged out, and they had a special moment there for a while where they just gazed into each other's eyes, possibly lovingly, I don't know. But after that, the next Compy seemed to be working properly after, of course, he fixed it. It would come over, run at him, attack for a little while, and then it would run off, and then it would come back and seem to do the same thing. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. It sounds like they're setting up for nest raids with the AI, which is kind of cool, I guess. I'll play this next clip, and then you guys can take what you will from that.
I'm bringing an adult. Ooh. Well, they get more and more as you get. We go.
Okay, so when I heard this, I, like apparently other people in chat, as you'll hear in a moment, thought he meant this would become a Horde shooter situation where as you grow, more and more compies start to show up, like, constantly. Like, an adult isn't there, you are under attack, it is killing floor hours where waves and waves of compies will come at you in increasing difficulty, and the only break you have is when a parent shows up and you get to buy your next set of guns and start the whole thing over again. So I certainly raised a brow when I heard that, because that sounds absolutely obnoxious. However, that does not seem to be the case, as you will hear in this next clip whenever this one ends, I guess. And he clarifies what he meant.
Yeah, so they don't really come in waves, because if they came in waves it would be like, it would be too hard, so they kind of just, you know, they just pop in around. There is a limit though, and there's like a probability on it as well. So.
Thank goodness, no waves of unending compy zombies coming to attack the babies, because that would be absolutely stupid. Again, it wasn't his intent, but the way he said it the first time made me think, oh, so as a baby you're just gonna have to, like, if you're a parent, you're gonna have to constantly, and I mean 24/7 all the time, have someone at the nest right next to it, or else all of these compies are gonna show up and attack your baby. Which, yeah, but also no. Because I get there's gonna be a ton of things that will want to eat babies, and it's just like that in real life, of course, blah blah blah. However, that would be incredibly stupid and incredibly annoying, not having any sort of break at all, ever. Just waves upon waves of compies. But again, that wasn't the intent, and he clarifies it, so it's fine. But, yeah. That was a something. It sounds like it'll be occasional, and like he said, there's probabilities and stuff involved. So it doesn't sound like it'll be bad, assuming it's not overtuned to some massive degree. We'll see how that goes, because we know how this usually ends up when it comes to RNG. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. I've talked enough about the zombie menace.
Yep, so they broke one egg each. Bit crap they don't have the they don't have a broken egg thing, and it's crap that I can't line up the compies with the actual eggs, because I'm gonna ask that. Actually, I think we might have it already. We have like crack. Ugh. I want something just like that for now, I suppose. Just like prototyping, obviously. Oop. Cold. Egg hatch tiny. Egg hatch tiny. 2. Okay. So this is, where are all these? Ugh. That one's probably good enough, actually, to be honest. Where are these files? Let me just find where that gore one was.
Ah, yes, the crunchies of eggs. I don't know how many, if any, of these sounds are in the game because I haven't played it, and I don't do nesting, because I don't care about nesting. So, oops, if so, I guess. However, it's still kind of cool, I guess, to hear all sorts of different sounds, and some of them are apparently called egg gore, which I imagine is not in the game yet? I wouldn't think so. I don't know how in-depth nesting actually is right now. I figured it was bare bones, but again, I haven't touched it, don't care to, so not my wheelhouse. However, this was him working out the egg testing prototype thing where the compies would come up to the nest, they would eat an egg, it was supposed to break, and eventually he arranges it, or tries to anyway, it never worked. He tries to make it so when the egg breaks, there was a little, broken shell bits in the nest when the compies did that, because otherwise the eggs would just go poof. Although to me, I never even really saw them go poof, but I guess I was just skimming. Anyhow, and he wanted a sound to play as well, which is why he was skimming through the sounds here. So basically just a visual and audio representation of what he was looking for the thing to do to test it out. He took quite a while on this though. A lot of this was cut because he was skimming through it for a while, and I'm like, for a prototype, that's an awful lot of time being spent. But anyway, let's not waste a lot of time on this question and segue onto, well, not question, section, and segue onto that broken egg thing I was just talking about. So this one was sped up. Was it time? Was it? Was it sped up? I thought I sped it up. I think I did. Yeah, I sped it up ×3. So this one was sped up ×3 because it's similar-ish to Brian's stuff. It was a lot of adjusting things and trying to make it look different / nice. So yeah, just egg speedrun, essentially. It took quite a while otherwise, and I didn't want to have like 5 to 10 minutes of egg just sitting there because it was boring, so I sped run through it. I almost cut this part entirely, but I figured some people would be interested in seeing something like this. Like, even if it's just for a prototype, it's probably not going to look like this in the game, we think. It's still kind of neat to see it just being adjusted and stuff in real time, and all that stuff. So I figured some people would find it interesting to see the egg be brought into being, I suppose. But let's move on from that one and go to the next.
We'll change it to an animation as well, so it's a bit more. I think we will anyway. Although, it's unlikely you're ever going to see them actually break them, because they will be running away.
Just talking about the egg break animation, again, it's not for sure gonna happen, and he says it's unlikely we'd ever even see it. Granted, it's, in my opinion, best to plan on someone seeing it anyway, because players being players, you know darn well sure they're gonna find a way to see it. I don't know how, I don't know when, where, what, why, any of that, but there's usually gonna be some weird thing that happens and someone ends up seeing something they're not supposed to, and yeah, so to me it seems like worth just plopping it in there, because why not? Seems to take only a few moments anyway, so But yeah, just a little simple comment on the egg thing. Again, was something I was tempted to just scrap, but I figured since I showed the other egg thing, I might as well show him saying afterwards, it might be an animation later, don't know.
We should see a compy get to like here somewhere, and the egg will break and it should spawn in the broken ones. Run through the water. That. Alright, so I think it spawned it, but it spawned it. Where else did it? Didn't spawn it? Or it's not, didn't replicate? Something like that. Let's have a look.
And then these two were his final 2 tests regarding the egg thing. He was trying to get the little egg broken model thing to spawn in, as you can hear, but it never quite worked out, and the compies would just run up and delete the eggs, and then they just kind of sit there. Granted, they've been sitting there the whole time. I don't think they've been, programmed to do anything else after the egg consuming just yet, but yeah, he couldn't get that to work during the rest of the stream, at least not that I saw. Again, there was another stream later on, however I was asleep, so I'm not quite sure what he was up to in that one. I would like to hope it was just more egg shenanigans, and that it wasn't too much, but knowing my luck, that stream had all the meat in it, and yeah. There's no VOD or anything left behind either, so I can't do much about that. But as for me, this is all I was able to get. Overall, regarding this stream, it wasn't a whole lot. I kinda struggled with adding some of this, and some of this honestly is a stretch. Like, I didn't need to have both of the compy waves in here. I just did it to show any, you know, one of them the compy just stood there, the other the compy was actually working. It didn't technically need to be that long, but the adult was involved in the other, and you can kinda see, at what point the compies seem to start coming in versus when the adult's far enough away that they, or close enough that they don't spawn versus being far enough and they do spawn. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, but yeah. So that's why that one was there. However, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot, honestly. The gore thing was pretty interesting, assuming that isn't already in the game, because again, I didn't look. I haven't played it since Update 5, and I have no will or desire to play it anytime soon. So whatever is or is not in the game will be a mystery to me unless I see it here or elsewhere. Or, you know, comments about it and stuff like that. But the body did look a little funky, so I was like, yeah, I guess I might as well put it in, I guess. The sounds of the body were most certainly interesting. So, yeah, the sounds were worth it. I don't remember hearing those. Granted, I mean, I made it to an adult, but I never picked up any of the bodies that I found. I just ate them on the spot and left. However, I only saw AI bodies as well, or killed a rabbit, or something like that, so yeah. I didn't really have any experience with dino bodies because I didn't see any, even though the server was nearly full when I was playing. It was about half, a little over. I don't remember. I think it was slightly over half. So that's like 50 people running around, and I saw a few Carnos, a Deinosuchus, and that was about it. So yeah, it's an okay stream, at least in my opinion. It didn't have a whole lot to it, and to be honest, I probably could have cut even more. However, there were subtle enough differences, I was like, fine, I'll just include this as well, might as well do that. The egg thing easily could have been taken out, but I figured it might be interesting to some people because it was, you know, a little visual tidbit. You get to see something being created and all that, which I didn't expect much. I mean, Amarok isn't the one made to do, or meant to do that, I should say. So I don't expect him to be doing stuff like that very often, but it looks like every now and again, yeah. Just make a little proto-egg. But yeah, that should hopefully be enough for me. I think I've covered enough. We'll see, I guess. But anyhow, assuming there's not another stream, I will say again, have a great weekend, everyone. Good morning, night, whatever time this ends up being posted. Honestly, lately they just end up being scheduled because I end up finishing them so late it's pointless to post it because no one's online at that point. But anyway, have a great day and goodbye!
Thank you.